Hello, my name's James. I'm a portrait photographer from Portsmouth in the UK. You've probably not heard of me. Welcome to our studio. We're going to be taking you through a shoot today and how we would shoot portraits for low key. Welcome Billy, who's joined us in a very, very smart suit here for this shoot. We've drawn down the blue backdrop here as we look at his shoes there for the people online who are interested in shoes. We're going to do low key portraits today, and what low key portraits are portraits that have the majority of their tones within the darker range of the black to white spectrum. So the majority of the tones, the majority of the pixels in this portrait image should hit mid-grey through to black. There should be more grey tones and black tones than there are white tones in the image. That's why we've drawn down the blue backdrop here. It's quite a dark blue backdrop. It's not going to reflect a lot of light back into the shot. It's going to soak up a lot of the light. We're going to show you how we would build up a low-key portrait. Using just the one light, we're using the Elinchrom D-Light RX4 today. It's plug-inable at the wall, so you don't need a battery pack for it. You don't need to worry about any of that. You just need to worry that you've got a power supply close by, and if not, some extension cords to bring it into the studio. We're going to start off by asking Billy to come and sit down and pose on the posing block here. So you're going to sit down nice and low there for me. Just get yourself nice and comfortable. We get asked quite a lot, how do I pose people for portraits? And really, the best thing to do is just let them do things, give them an action to do and see how they do it naturally. And if they do it naturally, it's more than likely that they're comfortable. And if they're comfortable, they're going to feel more comfortable in the portrait rather than you telling them directly how to sit or which way to sit or which leg should go where, that kind of thing. And Billy sat down here, nice and comfortable at the edge of the block, hands clasped in the middle here and slightly to the side here. So that's a nice starting point for us to build up our posing. We're going to bring in our one light here, just to the side, octabox on the one light here, around about 90 centimeters, this octabox. If we imagine that Billy's closer to 2 meters in height, just over 6 foot, yeah? He's a big guy, 6'1". So he's going to be about 180 centimeters. A 90 centimeter softbox is going to be approximately half of that, so we can shoot half of his full length with this softbox, knowing that we're going to get even light across the whole picture. We will be able to get, if we were to, shoot him for just a head and shoulder shot, but then incorporate the rest of the body, we would still see the legs and the feet and everything, but there would be fall off from our light, which means that it would be darker. By bringing him down here, we're making him shorter, which means the softbox is going to have more coverage because he's less tall in this picture, so it's going to go through that. And when I first set up my softbox there for the first shot, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the back of the light here. Come and see this here. It's good for the Elinchrom branding, this here. If you go all the way down the light from the back, straight line through the softbox, all the way through the middle here, and then draw a line down here, we should hit the eye from the middle of the softbox. It's just a little bit low here from this angle here. If we come around here, you'll see it on here. You look at down the line here where my arm's going, it's just hitting just below the chin. So I'm just going to lift this softbox up just a little bit, just so that this line now is going directly to Billy's eye. And we're going to take our first shot here, Canon R6 with a 24-105 f4 lens on the front. It's a good portrait lens, allows me to go wide, allows me to go close. I'm going to use it more on the longer focal lengths for this portrait. I've set my camera up, simple, standard studio setup, 160th of a second at f8, ISO 100. We're just going to take the first shot here with our Elinchrom light here set roughly to around about half power, 3.0 on the Elinchrom scale. Remember, it's the decimal scale here. I set it to 3.0. Just going to look straight towards me here for me, Billy. Just bring the hands up just a little bit higher there for me if we can. Clasp them, that's perfect. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful little shot there. So when we come and have a look at the shot here, we can see we've got good exposure over the whole picture, but there is some blue in that background. The majority of those tones are darker than they are lighter. If we look at the histogram up at the top here, that gives us a real clear indication. The histogram here, all of the white tones are on this side of the histogram, the darker tones on this side. So this tells us that we are doing low-key portraiture because the majority of our tones, the majority of our peaks are in the darker half there. Now with this half-length portrait, we've still got some fall off onto the background. I want to make it look really, really dark if we can in that. in that background. I want it to be even darker than that blue there. What we're going to do, first thing we're going to do to make that happen is we're going to get Billy to stand up, we're going to get Billy to come to the side, and we're just going to move the posing stool for him, because we don't want our models moving stuff around and doing things like that. They're our customers, they're our guests. Come and have a seat again there for me. Now obviously our light now is in completely the wrong place because it's behind him. So we're just going to move the light back further this way into exactly the same position that we were in before, proportionate to where Billy was sat. And we're going to take exactly the same photograph, only this time we're about 1 meter further back from the wall, further back from the blue background than we were before. Exactly the same pose. Chin down just a fraction there for me. Turn the head very slightly this way. 3, 2, and 1. Good shot there. And let's have a look at the difference between those two pictures. There's their first picture there, and the previous one there with a much lighter blue background, much darker blue background there, less fall off on the background. To really make that background nice and dark though, I'm gonna, at the moment, this light is shooting this way and some of this fall off is coming from here over onto the blue background still. Okay, we could keep going backwards, but my studio only goes back so far. Have a look. We can't keep going backwards through the door until there's no fall off on that background at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this light away from the background and kind of feather it across Billy's portrait here. So we're just going to turn it roughly 45 degrees this way, so that now the light is at roughly 90 degrees to where Billy is, to where Billy sat. So it's no longer pointing at him, it's pointing across him here, which means this feathered light coming out the side is the light that's going to hit Billy in this portrait. Exactly the same pose again. There's going to be a problem with this one though. I'm going to come onto that problem in just a second. Same shot here, 3, 2, 1. And the problem is the image is going to be too dark. We've gone way too dark because we've turned the light away. So although there is now less fall off, so that background is almost entirely black, the light falling on Billy's face is much, much darker, and there's real peaks in our blacks there in the histogram, which means we've lost detail in the blacks. So how can we amend this? Well, there's a few things we can do. We can open up the aperture if we wish, a couple of stops. We're on f8, so we can move to f5.6 or f4, which will give us a brighter portrait. We can move the ISO if we want. We're shooting on ISO 100, shooting at RAW because we want good quality in the file. We could move that up to 200 to 400 to get a similar exposure. We can move the power up on the light if we wanted to. We're currently at 3.0, we could move that up to 4.0 or 5.0 to give us those two stops there. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to move my light even closer to Billy here, so that it's super, super, super close. You see how close that is before? This does two things. It will increase the power of the light, not in terms of like, we're not turning the power of the light up, but the intensity of the light is now more because it's closer, because it has less distance to travel, less light is being lost, therefore we will have more power from the light. But a closer light source also means a softer light source. So we're going to get beautiful soft light across Billy's gorgeous, look at him here, Billy's gorgeous, beautiful soft face is what we're going to do. Because the light's in the picture here, if I was to shoot a mid-length one, I could do that. It's just, if you come around behind me, you'll see that the light is just on the side here. It will, if I shoot the same picture here, we'll just do it, you'll see it. That light will be in frame. We could get rid of that afterwards in Photoshop if we want. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit closer to him with the camera. So if we bring the camera back round here, we'll see, not only am I going to move closer, but I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to get him to turn away from the light. We're going a bit of broad lighting here as my camera person nearly falls over. Come with me, let's have a look at this. Broad lighting, which means the light is coming down from the broad side of the face. We've got lovely fall off there to the other side of the face, lovely soft lighting coming across. If we really want to accentuate those shadows on that narrow side of the face, on the far side of the face, I'm just going to employ this, which is my blackboard, which I'm going to bring real close in here, which means that there's going to be no reflection back in to Billy's face. Don't worry, if you don't have a massive blackboard, you can get one of these. It's a 4-in-1 reflector. This side here is a white side. The side on the other side is a silver side. And if we undo it, inside there is a gold side. And there is also a, oh, that's a gold side, sorry. If we undo it, there's a black side and a silver side inside, which we can flip it around. And if you wanted to, you could just hold the black side up here or put it on a stand. Either way, tripod's going to cost you around about £10–15 online, and those reflectors are going to cost you about £10–15 online. Between 20 and 30 quid, you can have your own solution. I went to a local builder's merchants and bought one of these polystyrene boards and painted it up. Let's have a look and see what the difference is here. So that's it turning the head away, eyes back towards me. Beautiful. Now we've got real chiseled, dark areas on the side of the face there, where we've really gone into black. Now, maybe we don't want that. Maybe we want to go the other way and we want to bounce a bit of light back in, and we haven't got a second light to put in a fill light. We could just turn this around, or we can use our reflector to bounce a bit of light back in. Exactly the same pose again. Hold that there. Beautiful. Stunning. And there we can see, look at the difference between these two. I'm going to bring them both up so you can see them both together. The difference between using a black reflector and using the white reflector there with the light bouncing back in. But let's play with it even more, okay? Let's go a little bit further. I kind of like, for the blokey portrait, I kind of like the darkness of it, the darkness of the low-key portraiture. So I'm going to turn this back round to black here. And I'm going to ask Billy just to turn his body just a little bit further this way. So we're turning the body even further away from the light there. Beautiful. And now I'm going to really amend this light. Get it up just a little bit higher, move it even closer, but turn it even further away. So we're now past 180. We're now actually not skimming light across, we're shooting light away. So really only the tiny feathered edge out the side here is hitting Billy's face there. He's going to turn his head through the collar and look towards me, just there. Chin down, just a fraction there for me if we can. Hold that there. I'm going to open up my aperture just a little bit, just to let a little bit more light in. And there we see, looks like he's emerging from darkness. Completely different. Looking straight, intensity, looking straight down the middle of the lens. Just going to change that very, very slightly here, okay? I'm going to move this light even further away. So by moving it further away, I've made it even less powerful. We're still working on just the feathered side of the light here coming out. We're gonna raise it up just a little bit more, just to make him look even more intimidating on this one. We're gonna grab the lapel here for me. Yes, it gave me a little bit of the watch-in shot there for me. The lapel of the jacket rather than the collar of the shirt. That's it, just like that. See how I'm doing it myself? So that he mirrors me, okay? Rather than telling him, I want you to pick up your shirt or pick up your jacket or hold that or do that. Just doing the thing that I want him to do. I want to see that tattoo. I want to see that little bit of the watch face there. I'm going to open up the aperture just a fraction. We've gone from shooting at f8 now to shooting just below f5.6, looking straight down the middle of the lens. Hold that there. And now open that hand up towards me. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Just there. Hold that there. And there we go. Now, one more. Hold that there. I don't want to see the back of the hand here. I want to see you open it up like this. There, so we see these tattoos? Come and have a look. I want to see the edge of these tattoos. I want to see all the fingers descending down in a nice crescendo, like a waterfall of fingers. I want that tattoo there. I want to see the watch face, which might even pick up some of the light from here. It may not. If it doesn't, I'm just going to pop in a quick gold reflector and see if I can get to a point where that watch face is going to reflect a bit of gold back towards me. That might be it there. And we're going to get him to look towards me. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Have a look at that. And that's how we build up a low-key portrait from one light on a blue background by shifting apertures slightly as we move along, as we move the light. And it also showcases how little movements of the light, little amendments to the light, are going to change the look and the feel of your portrait. And by moving that light closer, working a way to move it closer to our subjects, working a way to move in the direction of the light slightly away from our subjects, gives us these beautiful, soft lit portraits where we're controlling light. It's literally what photography is. Photography, light, graph to draw. We are drawing with light. And to be a photographer, to take your game to the next level, to take your images to the next level, you need to be a master of light. You need to control the light, understand how light works, to understand the cause and effect and what you're trying to achieve in the output of your portraits. Billy, did you have fun?
All the fun.
All the fun! Rated 5 stars, all the fun, all the best.